Hi, all. I often post scriptures each day. And when I was posting, I go through the books of different Bibles, or I've been going through the books of the Bibles and just putting down the next section, a little small portion each day. Well, today I've been going through the book of Matthew, but today I was at Matthew 5 and the Beatitudes. And I thought I would do this video just because it was such an important one for me, certainly in years past. I think when I really began to understand how great it was when we actually look at the scriptures, understanding the languages that they were written in, like Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic. Uh, I was young when I first saw Blessed are the poor in spirit, maybe even 14, 15, 16. And always for many years, I would look at that and think, poor in spirit, poor in spirit. What is that? Are you like hunched over in spirit? Even then, it didn't explain to me what it meant. Well, a number of years ago, probably 20 now, I was privileged to be able to take Greek. I actually took it, went with one of my youngest daughter, and although I knew it in concept, there I clearly was able to understand that in Greek, they often have different words for different meanings, where in the English language, we often use the same word with different meanings, such as love. We say, love you, or I love that dress, or I just love chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate person personally, but I just love chocolate. And we use that same word for everything, but there's obviously different emotions behind that. It doesn't entirely mean the same thing. In the Greek, there are multiple words. There's phileo, which is brotherly love. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, and that's where the root word for that is. There's sorge, which is family love, familio love, I guess. There's agape, which is God's love. Agape doesn't even require affection. We may not even know someone. I think the closest thing we can come to, I think, is like the military, that they're willing to go off and fight for their country, and they willingly give down their life for you, and they don't even know you to have an affection for you, or they may be dying for people or fighting for the rights and freedoms of people they don't even really like. And that we call it God's love because God did that before he sent his son to die for you. And this is before that we're in a relationship with him, or that even before we were born, he loved us so much that he willingly gave his son for us. Well, poor in spirit is the same thing. Poor has more than one meaning. There's poor, like the widow who only had two mites, and she went and gave everything that she had, her two mites. And Yeshua, Jesus, said that she gave more than all those men that were giving, their money bags and tossing them in, because she gave everything. Her poor meant poverty poor. She literally took her only two mites and sacrificed or willingly gave that to it. But she had two mites. Then there's poor like Lazarus at the rich man's table. That poor is destitute poor. Lazarus had nothing. He literally he only could live by the crumbs from the rich man's table. That was his sustenance. He had to wait and hope that there was something that was given to him. Well, that's the poor, and blessed are the poor in spirit. It's not until we realize that we are destitute before God, that we have nothing that we can give to him. And we're sitting there and waiting and hoping for a crumb or something. That is the poor in spirit, that you have to realize that you are destitute before God and you have nothing that you can give him. Blessed are those who mourn. When you realize that you're destitute before God and you have nothing that you can give, you begin to mourn that state that you're in. Blessed are the humble. When you realize that you are destitute before God and you're mourning that state and you humble yourself, you begin to reach up and long for the things that God has to hunger to fulfill that. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. That very next verse, when you are realize that you are poor in spirit, that you're destitute, and you're mourning that state, and you begin to reach up and hunger and thirst after righteousness. Literally understanding that one word opened up all of the rest of the verses. That it was just a continuation. Um, I hope that this is beneficial for you in some way. I know for me, I was just blown away, I think, in understanding the original meaning behind one word can completely change or open up our context or understanding of God's word. And his word is so rich. I even get more excited when we start looking at the Hebrew and so much of it. Anyway, I hope that this blessed you today, and may his love cover you. And I mean, so I know there's so many of you that are in need of prayers for so many things. I remember many of you in my prayers, and I hope you have a wonderful day.